You're now listening to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. And now your hosts, Christian and Chris, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports.
Let's go. Welcome to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. This is episode 32 for y'all in the building. And we are so happy that y'all are here and you are enjoying the content. I am your host, Christian_CFS, and here is your co-host, Mr. K Camp. How you doing, Mr. K Camp?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I cannot complain. What up, my good people? Shalom Akim to my good people, and shalom Akim to my bad people. May you learn to be good, because we need good people in this world. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's pretty good for Monday.
Yeah, pretty good, man. What was your thoughts about them games and everything, man, this weekend, man? It was actually quite entertaining. Well, I'll say this. It was entertaining to me because I had nothing on the line. So, that was just...
Remember last week, and I was like, man, I told you what I picked. I'm like, just pick the opposite of what I picked. Well, you should have done the same thing again this week. Just pick the opposite of what I picked. And I'm probably never going against Pat Mahomes again. And I know the rule. The rule is take Pat Mahomes as a short dog. I mean, not a short dog, as a short favorite, like 2.5 points, 3 and under. Take Pat Mahomes. And also take Pat Mahomes as a dog.
Yep.
This week he was a dog for 2 weeks in a row. I know he was a short favorite last week, and he was a dog this week, and he won. Now as a big dog, you take the other team. It's a big favorite. I'm sorry. As a big favorite, you take the other team. So if he's set to win by 7 points or 10 points, take the other team. But if he's only like to win by like 2.5, 3 points or lose, yeah. So long story short, I went 0-3 this week. I took the 49ers minus 7.5, didn't cover. I took Pat Mahomes. I took the over. Yeah, but as far as the games itself, yeah, man, Lamar got to get together. Harden over the NBA. Like James Harden. Man, you could and it was like, oh, Todd Monken and whatever. Yeah, they only ran the ball like, whatever time in the second half. But bro, that's what they wanted to do though. I called it. I said Kansas City want to go up and they want to see how Baltimore plays from behind. Can Lamar's arm win it? And Lamar stopped running, and he's trying to make big throws and instead of using his legs and his dynamic ism isn't a word, but yeah. I mean, it was an entertaining game though. So both of them really.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. Like I kind of slept for the first quarter, I think.
For which game?
Of the Ravens and then the Chiefs. Okay. So then as I start watching, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. Like listen to the commentating, seeing like how the defense was actually playing Lamar, like getting him out of his element. So I was like, yeah, like that's the one thing I will say about Kansas City. And the one thing that people actually kept talking about them was that this team, yes, they don't have that dynamic one, but they have a better defense than like what they had in the past 2 seasons. And the thing about that defense is that defense is just getting better. They have some young talent that is always progressing and going to that next level. And I think that's what's really helping out Pat and we already know him, Pat being Pat. But man, if Pat get daggone number 3, dog.
Bro, he's already passed everybody who has 2 Super Bowls and like 2 MVPs. He's already passed them. Like Peyton, he's passed Peyton. He's looking at 2 people, Joe Montana and Tom Brady. That is it. Everybody else, I didn't pass y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna be It's going to be interesting to see how it is because I think it's going to be a good matchup and everything. But let's not jump to that too soon. What are your thoughts about?
Wait for that next week.
Let's talk about that Detroit versus the 49ers. Like, we know we have somebody up in the room, up in our group chat and everything, and man, he the king of jinxes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you go back and like you've been in the league for like 5 years now, 5-6 years, and you've seen the progression every year, every single year, a team that they could be up by like 25. All of a sudden, this individual be like, man, hey, just go and give them that ship and everything now, man. The game is over. And everybody, we are talking about the game being over, not in the third quarter, not in the fourth quarter. We talking about like in the first half. Knowing good and well they still got, even though it was a really good game, I personally think Detroit should have won it on their own. But there were some, like the one play I'm talking about is the second, 4th and goal when Jared Goff had a slight opening just to run it for that first down instead of throw it. I think he could have picked up that first down and then slid and been good, and then they would still had extra time just to be able to get either a touchdown or a field goal. The first 4th and goal, I think they should just kick that. Even though the analytics
was that when they could have still been up 17 points?
They would have been up.
Right.
That
one. So what you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. They would have still been up 17.
Because that was that switch right there where San Francisco ended up scoring 18 like unanswered points or something like that in like 8 minutes or something. Or might have been 17 unanswered up in 8 minutes. I think it was like 8 minutes and 43 seconds. So, and like the tables turned quick. And I was like, if you'd have just kicked that field goal, even though we already know field goals aren't guaranteed, but it's the principle about the matter. Like, and I know, hey man, that's how the coach is. So the coach is living and dying by that right now.
He is.
He's probably thinking about like, would he change anything? He probably won't, because that's just how his style is. Because he would have looked like, if that was his dagger shot, I think, whenever he went for that 4th and goal. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to put that dagger in them because they was up 17. If they would end up scoring a touchdown, they would have been up 24. And he knew for a fact. Go ahead.
This is the one I'm thinking of. I guess I'm thinking of, they were 14. And they could have won a 21. This because that's what you're talking about, right? So it was like, it's second half started. San Francisco, they came down, boom, 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 boom. Detroit held them to a field goal, right? So they cut to 14 because at halftime it was 17, right? So they cut to 14, and then Detroit came down, and it was that fourth. It was that 4th goal. They could have kicked the field goal to make it keep it at 17, but 8 minutes had went off the clock. So you still kept it at 17. You went for it, missed it. Now it's still at 14. And then San Fran came out. That's when the onslaught came. Yeah. Yes, you got the no.
He ended up kicking that, and then they ended up getting the ball back, and then they ended up fumbling. And then that's when
the momentum just swung
so quickly and everything. So
I mean, like, it's all cool being aggressive, but you got to know when to be aggressive. And at that time, like you said, I would have kicked that field goal just to keep it at 3-score game. Keep it at 17. You know what I'm saying? Because if second half started, you're up by 17.
Yep.
They go down 3, 8 minutes off the clock. You had the ball, they had the ball, you had the ball, and you still at 17. That's kind of what you want. Okay, keeping them in bay.
But then also you got so much that is actually up on your back too. It's like, one, pressure. I know I'm the head coach. Well, no, it's not even the pressure. It's that. Well, it could be the pressure. Like me personally, I didn't see it as that. It's just like me, I would have second guessed myself because I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm the head coach of Detroit. We ain't been to a Super Bowl since Kingdom Come. And since we haven't done that, I probably would have ended up playing conservative just a little bit, just so I can get a certain lead back again. And then I would have turned that aggressiveness back on and would have kept it. Sort of like what you were saying. Like it's a time and a place to actually be conservative. Yes, I know the analytics said go for it, but
stupid.
It depends on the circumstances that I have. And yes, we already know hindsight is 2020 right now. Like if they would end up getting it, then everybody would have been like, "Oh my gosh, see, I told you like they were actually was going to end up winning." But now, now it makes you understand if like Dan Campbell feels like George Sanford right now saying you big dummy. Like, does he feel like that right now? He probably don't, but
it doesn't compute pressure. Doesn't compute win streaks. What's in a player's heart? If palms getting sweaty, shit, they know that this is San Francisco. I even though San Fran was up 17, I was like, man, I still think San Fran ain't finna come back. And that's why our jinx in the league, I was like, man, you need to hush because this game ain't out of reach. 17 points ain't shit, you know. And I never felt that San Fran was out of reach to come back. Never felt in the first half.
So I felt they was out of reach until and the reason why I'm saying they was out of reach is that they was getting the luck of the draw.
Who?
San Fran. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they ended up coming back off of like 2 fluky plays. But that's all it takes, really. And like that's the one thing about football is that you got to love. Like we know why DBs are DBs because they can't catch the ball.
They can't catch. Oh, right.
The dude couldn't even catch the interception, and it just hit him right off the dome piece. It's like, come on, like if you know you can't catch it, man, hit that thing down. It makes no sense for you to, and then people are probably gonna be out there. Yes, I understand. We just out here, we just talking about it. Could we have done that? Hey, you never know. Maybe not. If we got the opportunity, if I'm back up in my younger days,
get paid like that. No.
Let's just say that ball would have probably been caught.
Right. Yeah, man. Like I said, I was never and the jinx. Just to give the people who listening a while we call him the jinx, there was one scenario 3 years ago when AK he had Alvin Kamara on his team. He's playing for the semifinals in fantasy, and Alvin Kamara when he scored those 6 touchdowns, right on a Saturday, and the jinx in the league, he had Alvin Kamara. He started talking shit. He was the man, but it was 2. You had a Saturday game and you had a Sunday game. Long story short, y'all, he ended up losing. After Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns, he still lost. Why? Because he's talking before the fat lady sings. Don't talk that shit, man. Just be patient, hold it in, and wait. Sure enough, sure as shit stinks. He jinxed the Detroit Lions, and the San Francisco came back. I was like, man, but you know. What is it though, right? Detroit can't change their stripes. They overachieved this season. Detroit is Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They've said they've been for 30 years. It's all of a sudden this is going to be a magical Cinderella season. Yeah. That's also why I was like, they're not up enough because Detroit on Detroit.
See, I don't know, man, because before the season started off, we talked about how we thought Detroit was going to be good this season, which they ended up being good. Sure. They ended up doing their thing. But I don't even think the moment was too big for them. I just think it was the luck of the draw. Like, who would have known a ball deflects off somebody's helmet and then hits the person in stride? And then, if he didn't get touched by the ankle, would have been a touchdown.
Would have been a touchdown. Down by contact. Would have been a touchdown.
Seriously, everybody. Like, who does that? Hey, if that's not the luck of the draw, then that's the luck of the draw.
But then, like But see, I mean, that's like you say, but like I say, palms start getting sweaty. Reynolds had 2 drops on 4th down in his hands. Bro, what are we doing? Pressure. See, analytics don't compute pressure, do they?
But
The
then
momentum
it
swinging,
also,
San Fran coming. I'm nervous. It don't compute that. That's why you can't go all analysts. That's why you gotta be balanced. But go ahead.
but that's what I was gonna say. Like that's the one thing. It makes me wonder, and I probably would have to go back and look at the game again to actually observe everything in the all 22 film. Is actually understanding what type of coverage they was playing up on Amon-Ra and potentially other or like Amon-Ra and Laporta, yeah. So that's the area that I want to see like what they was doing just to determine if they was having like some type of cloud coverage over them.
Had to be, right? Because everybody knows that's Jared Goff's guy. One of them two, they go boom, boom, and then it's like, okay, we'll let if Reynolds beat us, then Reynolds beat us. I'm sure that's what. Just like I guess Baltimore, they start doubling Kels. I don't know. In the second half, because he had 10 catches in the first half, only 1 in the second half. So maybe they start blanketing him, which is what you do. You blanket Kels and you just let, okay, if some no names from Rashee Rice, and Valdez Scantling, who got the drop, beat us, what you gonna do? We can't let Kels beat us. So
but I ain't gonna lie though.
They blanketed Amon-Ra. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie though too. Like if you actually remember, like up in the game, like Rashee Rice was getting off, but the offensive line just kept holding.
Oh yeah.
Number dude, like
65, whatever number was.
Like, yeah. I'm like, this rookie's starting to come into his own.
Now let me ask you this though. Since we saying it, I know you high on Rashee Rice, and I am too, and you see him balling.
I think they still need somebody else.
That's what I was gonna say. Are they gonna go get somebody else? Whether it be free agency or rookie. Now, how is that going? Is that gonna help or hurt Rashee Rice?
I don't think it's gonna hurt because you know how Pat is. He's just so I think Rashee Rice is gonna get his just like Travis Kelce is gonna get his.
See, I don't know, man. He ain't killing Trav to Pat though.
Well, no, he's not, but he's the rookie. Most rookies, prime example, we can actually go back and look at this. Like Sky Moore, prime example, like he didn't show up to do what he was supposed to do, so that's why they drafted Rashee Rice. Now Rashee Rice is doing what he's supposed to be doing as where they picked him. The dude stepped up. Yes, we know how rookies are and everything. Yes, he's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Does that mean he has a better chance to be a better wide receiver? Of course, because he's playing with one of the best QB in the league.
Right.
And he's actually evolving his game. Yes, he's a rookie the first 6 weeks to 8 weeks. He's playing like a rookie. But you know what they say. Once you get to that second half of the season, you ain't no rookie no more. And then what he started doing, he started opening up. So I think he's going to get his, but you also got to remember, I don't think they're going to give as much to Sky Moore anymore as like what they're doing now. Yeah, also, MVS, I don't think he's going to be back. So even if they was to bring a rookie in, Rashee Rice is still going to get his 7.
7 catches, 7 targets.
Okay. Yeah, I can see him getting 7 targets a game next year, and that's just being.
Well, that's just being. That's the floor for you. Probably what you're saying, right?
That's just the bottom. Like that don't mean that he can't get 8, 9, 10, depending on how he evolves over the offseason. The dude could take his game to like that next level. But then what does that mean? Who they need to get? They gonna do the exact same thing they did the past 2 years. The reason why they traded for Kadarius Toney, who
he gone too. He's out of there.
Yeah. And for Sky Moore, they need speed. And that's what I think they're going to try to find again in this draft. And I hope they actually send somebody out there to actually scout somebody that can fit into their system instead of just taking one of the fastest guys.
Remember, so you saying they didn't scout for Sky Moore?
Yeah, but when I mean scout, like I want to see, because I'm big into scouting and like recruiting and things like that. I want to physically see like the routes, like his route tree, what he normally runs, the actual competition, who he ends up playing up against. Whenever he's playing up against that competition, how is his how did he play? Like his, and then go back to his to like his 3 top games, and then give me his 3 bottom games. And then I want to see what type of coverage like they was playing. If he can get off man, if he can beat cover 3, if he knows how to beat like option routes, things like that. That's what I look at whenever I'm looking at certain particular wide receivers, if they're going to be able to be good in certain systems or not.
So let me ask you a question. So you went to Western Michigan. Is Western Michigan colors, were they blue and white, something like that? Is it light pinstripe colors or something?
No, Western Michigan is brown and yellow. They're like Wyoming.
Who am I thinking of? I don't know who I'm thinking of. My man. Okay.
You might be thinking about you ain't thinking about what's his name? That was Chris Godwin also went to Penn State, but that was like years ahead of that.
Years ago. I don't know. Keep going. I'm sorry. I don't know who I'm thinking of, man.
But just me personally, like that, just his skill set. Like, example, if I'm the Chiefs and if Xavier Worthy is there, I'll take it Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
No hands about it. Just take him because I need that speed. And I'm just going to get sort of like what they say, like throw me the ball and then like watch what I do with it. That's the type of player that I see up in Xavier Worthy. And with that speed, I think he'll mesh very well with Raji Rice. But do I think
catch? As long as he can catch. You're right.
That's any wide receiver though. But
you're right. He will take the role of MVS, and hopefully he can catch better than MVS. And like you say, to leave it open for Rashee Rice. If he start catching some, and leave it open for Kels and Rashee Rice.
And let's not forget daggone 11-year-old back there up in the backfield, Isaiah Pacheco, Mr. High Knee himself. Look at my feet go.
This dude, I hate the way he runs. Hate it.
Yeah, I know you do, but hey, man, the way he be running, I'd be like, that dude be looking like he's fast, but he's not fast.
He's really not fast. Legs be moving, but don't be going nowhere. Bro, there is no gracefulness in his running. He's not a gazelle or a cheetah or I don't know what kind of animal he is, but he's not that. Yeah, like he's going fast, but ain't going nowhere.
So that's what I'm thinking about the Chiefs when it comes to, but that matchup though, the 49ers versus the Chiefs.
A repeat.
It's a repeat from 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 3?
2021.
Yeah, so like 3.
2. No, well, it's 20. It's just turned 2024, but I think it's from the 21 season, which is the 23 season. So yeah. It's 2 years.
Yep. So yeah. The teams have changed. The teams have changed a lot. No Tyreek. They also have CMC.
It's like San Francisco got better.
Yeah, they got better, but
they got since 2 years ago. They've gotten better, definitely bigger names on San Fran than on the Kansas City from 2 years ago.
That is true.
Compared to 2 years ago.
But that's the one thing though. So where Kansas City was, just like what we talked about at the very beginning, like where Kansas City was on the defensive side is what was hurting them through most of all those Super Bowls. Now that defense has gotten better. These daggone rookies, that's going to be the deciding factor. The way that Kansas City played up against the Baltimore Ravens is the exact same thing. I think they're going to make Brock Purdy try to beat them.
What they going to do?
I think they're going to try to make Brock Purdy beat them because he ain't special. He's just a game manager.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I mean, he made the plays he was supposed to make. He sounded some criticism, but I still don't think he.
Okay. Yes, you got a daggone luck of the draw, a fumble right up in your red zone. Okay,
that helped.
Then
a hell of a catch.
You got Mr. Bucket off the dome. Hey,
that Greg Jennings catch, that was a terrible pass.
yeah.
Remember that one hand catch across his body? That was a bad. For the first down, that was a bad pass.
He did that Odell Beckham right up in the middle of the field.
You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the field. So yeah.
So all luck, and that's the thing about it is, I want to see what Shanahan, what Kyle is going to do with Mr. Purdy in this matchup. Is the stage going to be too big?
Because Kyle has been on the choke.
Well, that's Kyle. I'm talking about Purdy. Is the stage going to get too big for him? We have another person up in our group that was talking about this is Purdy's second time going into back-to-back championships. First time he got hurt. Second time he played all the way through. But Purdy ain't never been to the big stage. Things get different whenever the stage gets there. But knowing how Kyle is, he's not going to let Purdy do too much.
Right.
But he's going to let him do just enough. I say he's probably going to let Purdy throw, I say probably about 20 to 25 times. But then of that 20 to 25, he's going to get, I say about like 6 deep shots. And like if they hit, that's going to change the name of the ball game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know for a fact they ain't going to want to put nothing up in his hands.
Remember what I said at the beginning of the podcast? I was like, Pat Mahomes as a dog, and the line is 1.5 to San Francisco right now. He's a dog, so he's plus 1.5. He's like the record is like 15 because it like before last week's game he was like 13-3. I think the Joe Burrow one, maybe the Tom Brady one. Maybe Tom Brady twice and Joe Burrow. That was only 3, and so something like that. He's like 13-3, so now he's like 15-3. So will Super Bowl Sunday make him 15-4, or will he be 16-3? But the odds say to take Pat Mahomes at plus 1.5.
And you want to know? See, this is the thing about. I think a lot of people are taking Pat Mahomes.
I just lost twice to him. So I'm like, well, I got to ride back. Do I try to get Pat to go 1-0-3, or do I just say, man, I'm just gonna ride with Pat? Or you just bet against me because I've been trash for the past 2-3 weeks and just do the opposite of what I say. That's but I don't know.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the name of the business, though. But I think that line's gonna change dramatically in probably the next.
Which way?
I think it's gonna go towards the Chiefs only because of Pat.
So you gonna make them a favorite?
Yeah, I think it's gonna end up making them because they're gonna have so much money up on Pat that they're gonna be like, oh, I got to get some of this back.
The bettors,
but I don't think it's gonna be a lot. I think it might be like a field goal, if that, and that's being nice because they're pretty much saying that like it's a pick'em game. Because I'm not looking at that. Like I don't know what the.
That's money line. I heard what's the name? So hold on, let me see something. Because I heard so as of that was yesterday. What's today? 29th? Day 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Today's 29th at 8:51. It had Kansas City at plus 2.5. Right?
Okay, but that's the reason why.
And it got betted down. That means professionals were hammering. It got to plus 2.5, and then in 20 minutes it went to plus 1.5. We were a whole point. Then it went back 2.5, and now it's sitting at 1.5. So professionals saw it at plus 2.5, and they bet it quick because if you're professional, you get the best number. Yep. So plus 2.5.
If you tell me I'm getting 2.5 with Dagon Pat, I'll put a unit on that.
So they betted it to 1.5. So professional money has come in right now on Pat Mahomes, which you do. So that's gonna be interesting. 2 weeks. I'm not a professional, as you see. I'm waiting to bet. Smart thing for you. I should have betted at 2.5 as soon as it opened up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. I really think it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then go ahead.
Let's talk about this coaching news, though. We got 2 more open positions out there.
Yes, yes.
I am estimating that by Wednesday, it will say that the Commanders have hired Ben Johnson as their new head coach.
Yep.
Who is going to the Seattle Seahawks?
That
They need an offensive coach, in my opinion.
Are you just going to fall for like the last person in the barrel? Like,
who's it? Eric Bieniemy?
No, not even Eric. Like, I don't even think Eric's not even a topic now. Like, I'm talking about Bobby Slowick. You gonna take Bobby out there, or is Bobby gonna be doing what like Ben Johnson did? Nah, I'm not gonna take any more. Like, I actually want to go back with this team and to get like another year experience as the OC, and then next year, let me see what's going to end up popping off. But then looking at next year, it's like
could be the Cowboys' job.
It could be the Cowboys' job. So if he goes to the Cowboys' job, it's going to be a lot of money coming for old Jerry. And he don't have to move that far.
Don't have to move that far. 3.5 hours. I said that, Bobby Slope was going to be on people's radar and that it'll be next year. So I said it like, 3, 4. I probably said a month ago, close to it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But if you're Seattle, what do you do? Because I think you have offensive weapons. You need offense. Who do you go get? I have no idea. Do you get Slowick early, or even try to get him, or get him early, or what's your other route? Because I don't know.
Well, keep talking about Seattle. I'm about to look something up.
I don't know what do you do, but they need to go offense. I think probably Vrabel's probably the best out there right now as far as just coaching wise. Period. Watch they will get some no name that nobody's even heard of before as an offensive coach, and hopefully he can do something. Hopefully he can get magic. Okay, but let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I was wanting Ben Johnson to go there, but I heard last week before it was officially came out that they were going Raheem Morris and Ben Johnson was going to the Commanders. And you see Raheem Morris, he took the quarterback's coach from the Rams as their OC. So he's hoping and praying. We're all hoping and praying that he learns something from McVay and he can be, something. I don't know. We hoping and praying.
But he also worked with them too. Like that's the one thing that's really interesting about when you go and look back at these coaching trees, because you get to put all the pieces together, like Raheem
Morris. Yeah,
he was actually on the coaching staff with Mike Shanahan when he was in Washington.
Raheem was?
I think so.
I knew he was on coaching staff with Dan Quinn when he was with Atlanta. And that's how he got that report. That's why they went and got him. That's why they went and got him. But what was also funny? How not GMs, but how owners, they'll go defense, then they go offense, and then go back to defensive coach. Like they went Dan Quinn, then they went Arthur Smith, then they back to a defensive coach.
He was on he was on the Washington Commanders January 11th, 2012 as the defensive backs coach.
Okay. He ain't offense though. They need offensive help.
No, so that's the thing about him. Like he's actually he's actually coached both sides of the ball.
Really, Raheem Morris.
Yes. So he ended up being a graduate assistant from like Hofstra. Mm-hmm. Then he was a defensive back coach for Cornell. Then he was the defensive back coach for Hofstra again. Then he ended up getting into the NFL, being the Tampa Bay Bucks defensive quality control coach, which is pretty much intern. You go get me my papers and everything, and we'll get you all the clippings of all the videos. Then he became that defensive assistant like the next year. Then he became an assistant defensive back coach. Then he ended up going to Kent State, being the actual defensive coordinator for a year. Then he came back into the NFL and ended up being the defensive back coach for Tampa. Then whenever Tampa Bay didn't get the coach who they wanted, they hired him as the actual head coach. Then he came back, and he's mostly defense, but then he has a little bit of offense. Then from the Falcons in 2015 to 2019, he was assistant head coach and pass game coordinator. In that same year, he was also the wide receivers head coach. In 2020, he was the defensive coordinator and then interim head coach for the Falcons. And then he was the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams.
So he was there with Kyle Shanahan when he was there as OC.
Yeah. That's why I said like his tree is like really interesting as a head coach. Like I know like Carolina was actually going for him too as well. Like he had a second.
Really?
Yeah, he had a second interview, and with the owner being who the owner is for Carolina, I know we kind of switching up over to them. He hired a Sportsology as their consulting firm, and I guess we'll see. They ended up going with Danny Canals. We'll see how that's going to end up being. So like what a lot of people up in the X streets are talking that a lot of Buck fans are actually upset because we took their actual OC who they felt like they was going to end up promoting him in like a couple years because they didn't feel like Todd Bowles was going to be able to do what he's supposed to do. But then a lot of people are saying too as well, we know that this is probably a long shot, but they really think that the coach might be able to recruit a certain player from his old team to come to Carolina. The odds are probably about like 1,000 to 1.
From Carolina? From where?
No,
from Tampa Bay?
From Tampa Bay to Carolina.
Mike Evans?
Yeah.
Mike Evans? Man, Mike ain't going to no team who can't win it though. If I'm
but that's the thing about it is that like you don't know what he wants. And that's the best thing about like does he want the bag again or does he want that ring? He already got one already. He already got one.
I guess he can get the bag and be on a trash team. I mean, that will, you know what? Come March, is it March? Yeah, come March. We're gonna be interested to see where Mike Evans go. They need a number one. You know, why not need it.
There's nothing wrong with having Jonathan Mingo get underneath Mike Evans' wing, even though, like what we were saying before, it is a long shot. Do not think it's gonna happen. I'm talking about 0.00001% that he comes.
It's funny you make the connection though.
But
I ain't think about that.
It's just like the connection like that, and then a lot of people. So I don't know if you heard, and I'm actually kind of jumping back to the Falcons right here, is that a lot of people have already said that they like Raheem Morris as a coach, that they will come and play for him and certain particular players in general.
Really?
Yeah, because they like the way his philosophy is. So it'll be interesting to see what the Falcons do in the offseason to actually build around.
I will say that I prefer Raheem over Bill Belichick, so I appreciate that. I do. As a Bijan owner in 2 leagues, I appreciate that. Because I definitely didn't want Bill Belichick there.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah,
over this OC, learn something from Sean McVay. He can be creative and get Cal Pitts the ball and Bijan the ball and Drake London the ball here for that matter. But you gotta get a quarterback though.
Oh, they're gonna get a quarterback. They might have to move up in the draft to get one.
So, let's touch on that. We got a little bit of time left, about five or so minutes left. You think they're gonna move? So they're not moving to 1, 2, and 3, right? So you saying they moving to 5? Because if I'm the Cardinals,
aren't they at 8?
I'm not moving. Yeah, they were at 8. If I'm
why wouldn't I go all the way up to number 1?
Oh, so whoa. So you're saying whoa. So,
if I think I'm a QB away, I got the pieces.
What you gonna give up to get to number 1? Your first this year, your first next year.
Why can't they give up what Carolina gave up?
Who's the wide receiver they're giving up? Who's the wide receiver they're giving up?
But last year, the Bears wanted a defensive player, and they wanted either an offensive player. They got the offensive player last year. The question is, who is that guy on defense who they would give up just to move? And I don't know the Falcons' defense like that. So
I don't know the Falcons' defense like that.
I don't know any. We can probably go to over the cap because I'm just thinking. So the Panthers end up giving what just to get Bryce, and that was them moving up from 9. So if they do the exact same thing that they did last year, and to be honest with you, would it be good for them just to draft Caleb Williams? Yes. But then do I really want to waste a first round, like a number 1 overall pick on a coach that I don't see being there long term?
Who you talking about? What you talking about? The Bears?
Yeah. The Bears head coach is pretty much up on the hot seat this whole season.
Yes.
So do I really want to waste that 1.01 on a coach that is only going to be there for a year? I don't know about you, but I know I'm not doing that. I'm not about to ride my faith on him destroying another QB, but then you're going to have to end up giving up something else. Or maybe they end up doing like a little switch, but I do have a feeling that you find anything over there.
If I got some D-backs, I don't know. No, I'm trying to do some name jump out at me. Dupree. As Calais Campbell. Ain't gonna work.
So my thing is right here.
Trey
This is the guy who I'm thinking about because the first thing that they did whenever they was trying to get some of the players up on the Panthers, they wanted a D tackle. So would you give up? I don't know how good this person is, but would you give up David Onyemata and then the package deal similar to like what the Panthers gave up just to get?
First, we switched first and then my first next year.
Get first next year, and then also like they'll kick in some thirds or something like that to make everything work. Yeah. Oh, this dude is 31, so I doubt they would want to do something like that.
He only had 4 sacks last year.
Yeah, so
I don't think they got.
Or is there like a DN who they got Cap too? Like it's not like they can't.
They're probably like, I don't want nobody on your defensive team. They ain't nobody good.
Yeah, so it's like, or if that's the case, then are they going to want like 3 first? And does Arthur Blank just want to be like, hey man, screw this. I'm doing what I need to do just to get back into the playoffs. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going up there, getting Caleb, and he's going to be our QB to be around Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. And Raheem Mostert is going to be.
I can tell you what happened. They'll sell some tickets. They would definitely sell some tickets. You know what I'm saying? They will sell the hell out of Caleb Williams in that offense.
But then if you actually look at that, and then actually if you look at that team, how it's built, that team looks similar to how the Rams were before, like when they had Todd Gurley a little bit. Only thing about it is that it's kind of switching roles. Like you have Kyle Pitts, who is better than Higbee.
Yeah.
Personally, or let's say this. Kyle Pitts has the potential to smash Tyler Higbee, but the opportunity of feeding the monster they have not done. But the one thing I will say also too is for everybody that has been watching this podcast, man, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're getting an ounce of daggone information, go and hit that thumbs up button, give us that 5-star ratings. And also, we see there's about like 59% of y'all out there that is watching the video. It went down a little bit. It was like 6-something last, and you're not hitting that subscribe button. Just go hit that subscribe button, man. It's helping everybody out. Got big things for the future and everything here at on this Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. We'll have a big store for y'all, man. Big store. But back to what we was talking about. It's just gonna be interesting, I think. Like this whole the coaches firing and the coaching hiring, seeing how the teams are trying to mold each and every position and what they're going to end up doing. It's just, man, you just gotta love it, man. Draft season is like, it's like getting there. It's like real close.
Ready.
And I'm just ready to sit back, relax, to see where these potential prospects go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's gonna be a good one. Any last words?
I'm ready for the combine.
Yeah. Well, you know the Shrine Bowl game is coming up. I don't know if you watch that.
Alabama, the Senior Bowl or Shrine Senior Bowl? You mean you should be Shrine or Senior Bowl?
Shrine Bowl. I thought Shrine Bowl was like this weekend. Like they got so many bowls now that.
Oh, so it might be both the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl. They
got the Shrine Bowl. Then they have like the Reese Senior Bowl up in Mobile.
That's all I'm talking about. Mobile.
Then they also have like the Honolulu Bowl now.
What?
Yeah, there's another, like there's like I'm peeping them up on like IG and everything. Like there's a lot of bowls that are just popping up out of nowhere. But it's good though. It's actually getting more eyes out to the public. But any final words that you would like to say?
We thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate you. We know you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and we appreciate that. Spread love, not hate.
Spread love, everybody, not hate. And always remember, Dynasty commentators are doing their thing. We zig whenever they zag.
Hey.
Zig and zag over here.
Zig and
all right.
zag.
Peace.
And I also take Pat Mahomes as a dog.
Yep.
This week he was a dog. Win streaks. What's in a player's heart? If palms getting sweaty,
knees weak, arms are heavy.
What happened? I'm talking about 0.000 fatal. Are taking Pat Mahomes.
I just lost twice to him. So I'm like, I got to ride Pat. Do I try to get Pat to go 1-0-3, or do I just say, man, I'm just gonna ride with Pat?
Yes, he's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Does that mean he has a better chance to be a better wide receiver? Of course.
Of course.
Hey, you never know. Maybe, maybe not. If we got the opportunity, if I'm back up in my younger days.
Get paid like that.
And let's not forget that going 11-year-old back there up in the backfield, Isaiah Pacheco, Mr. High Knee himself. Look at my feet go.
Detroit is Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They said they've been for 30 years. It's all of a sudden this should be a magical Cinderella season.
Yeah, boy.
It could be the Cowboys' job. So if he goes to the Cowboys' job, it's going to be a lot of money.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.